That's set. Hello, YouTube. It's been a hot minute, a few years. Definitely lost track of time. I'm trying to do this video in just kind of a one take. Got myself some notes, and I'm going to try to talk about some of the stuff. I think I turned that off. I have this on a little face tracking tripod, and it is on. Hang on, let me stop it, because it's going to just follow me around, and we'll play with that later. Are you still working? Yeah, it's still on. Whatever. All right, so if the camera moves a little bit, it's because the face tracker is following me. But like I said, it's been a little while. I wanted to do an update. I've been thinking about forever kind of returning to my YouTube channel. And long story short, I got a few notes I want to cover, and I figure if I can get something going consistently with videos, we can talk about stuff and move forward. Of course, still, this would be health and fitness. And I'll talk about a little bit what I've been doing, kind of where I've been, just all the different stuff. But I mean, to start out, it's been like, I think 4 years. I think last time I did a video was around 2020, 2021. I don't know. I'll look. But since then, lots changed in my life. I had to sell my house, and I had to kind of adjust some of my fitness goals as well. Remember before, when I was doing stuff, I was talking about training for triathlons and doing all that, where I've never got that done. I haven't done a sprint triathlon officially, though I did do a lot of my own personal events where I would do the swimming, running, biking. Do that in the proper order to the distance that would be a sprint triathlon. So in a way, I've done them, just not on an official capacity, but that's fine. Because really, over the last few years, since I did my last video, I've been dealing with a lot of just lower back stuff. I'm getting old. I'm 41 now, so lower back stuff, hips, and it's been kind of this very intermittent, almost chronic pain that I've been dealing with. And I finally feel now in 2025, I have a good grasp on it. But that's some of the stuff I wanted to talk about in kind of this return video. So thanks for watching. It's been forever to kind of stay on track here. So like I said, I'm not trying to do the triathlon stuff anymore. I've been dealing with that. I've just been doing my own thing. I haven't really gone to any specialists or gotten any MRIs or anything to kind of see what's going on. I just have, over time, I've slowed down. And that seems to be kind of, with where I'm at now, seems to be working out quite well. So really, I was doing good the end of last year. And then in January, I was doing some work, moving some stuff around, and ironically not in the gym. And I herniated a disc or something. I mean, right on the spot. I was doing something stupid, picking up some masonry bricks, like gardening bricks, in an awkward position, lifting with my back, basically. Just got caught in a dumb moment, and in that moment, I heard the pop. I felt the pressure. It wasn't good, and I've been climbing back since then. That was January. This is about 4 months later. We're in May now, and it was slow and steady. It was a lot of painful nights, a lot of issues to deal with. But now I'm feeling pretty good. I've been doing a lot of physical therapy type stuff, kind of on my own type of training. And my original plan was to get started, because my birthday's in March, in January. I was like, okay, I'm gonna just really get back to my goals. Because let me back up a little bit here, because last time I was uploading, I was in really just shredded shape, and that's when I was really just measuring everything. And I still am using the scale with my food, but I was really on point with that. But I was kind of getting I've made some changes that I think are good, because, for example, I was trying to do a thing where I could have a lot of portions, but in a way that still allowed me to have a lot of sweet things. And so I found that over time, I was starting to incorporate, in my opinion, way too much artificial sweetener stuff, sucralose stuff, when I think it's better just to do smaller amounts of the real natural stuff. So I had to slow that down a bit. I was also doing my 4 a.m. wake, but I was doing it every single day. I did that for well over a year. I think I did that maybe for 2 years. And it was all great and good, but it was at the expense of my sleep, because I also tend to stay up kind of late sometimes. So if if I'm not in bed by midnight, 1, 2 a.m., and I'm getting up, I was like clockwork up at 4 a.m. And I love those mornings. I love that time. However, it wasn't serving me productively. And I found it was, I think over time, it was starting to tax my health. It wasn't great for my recovery. So that's where I've kind of come full circle. And I believe now I'm on like every fitness thing I've done, every little bit when I've uploaded, there's always been a learning progression, and I've gotten better and better and better with it as of kind of I do it, and then I don't do it, and then all of a sudden I kind of get back into things, and then every time I reapply the lessons I learned from prior times. And overall, life consistency and fitness and health and stuff has been fantastic. But I have those moments where sometimes, like then, I was pushing a little bit too hard and not maximizing the efficiency of my sleep, of my rest, and my diet where the calories were good. I was doing good on protein. Everything was good balanced macros. I didn't like over time how much artificial sweetener I was having, because I'm of a firm belief that, I mean, we know how sugar affects us. We know how fats affects us. We know how things affect our bodies over time. We've got generations of data. But with all this artificial sweetener stuff, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to affect our bodies over decades. And I'm a firm believer in it's what you do over decades that's going to affect your future health. Anything can happen to anybody at any time, but I believe we can affect the variables with consistent fitness and with consistent nutrition. So that's the philosophy I always try to incorporate. And what I'm doing now is, like I said, I was kind of recovering basically the beginning of the year, but around April 5th, I locked down. Actually, I fasted that day, did a 36-hour fast to just kind of, it's not something you have to do. It's not something that I tell everybody they have to do, but it was a way for me to kind of just stop and to reset how I was eating. And I was still eating good, but I wasn't really paying much attention. I was just eating a lot of volume, a lot of food, a lot of calories, but I also wasn't really working out because it was tough. If you've ever dealt with like it's almost like a sciatica type of thing, you would understand. You can't really do upper body or lower body. Like my old philosophy would be like, you injure your lower body, work out your upper body. You do, vice versa, whatever. Do cardio if you can't lift. But when you're at a pain threshold, it makes it pretty much impossible. So moving just wasn't really in the repertoire a whole lot. So did a lot of resting, a lot of heat pads, a lot of ice, a lot of different, some ibuprofen here and there, and just tried to recover. And as I started to feel good enough, I've slowly kind of gotten back into the gym. So that's been great. I'm now that I'm doing this video is about 30 days into my progress, because I started April 5th, it's now May 7th that I am filming this video. And over time, I've kind of progressively, I started with nutrition was the most important thing, kind of bringing my calories down and then reintroducing roughly about a 2,000 calorie a day, but with nice natural whole foods. And it's been good. I'll share more about that stuff. We can talk more about that if I get more consistent with doing videos. What I'm doing now is, as I've slowly, I felt so out of shape doing anything in the gym. But as I've been progressing, I've slowed way down. I'm not lifting as heavy as I was always trying to go heavier. Like last time when I was uploading in 2021 and like 2019 to 2021, I was just always trying to lift heavy, always trying to go heavier. But I'm not trying to be like a bodybuilder, and I'm not trying to do shows. I'm just trying to be healthy. I do like to have a nice aesthetic look. I like to be, I like when I see some of my old pictures, I'm like, damn, I got really shredded and very vascular. And that's kind of what I'm aiming to get back to. And I think it's more important than ever in my 40s. So that'll be good. I'm now feeling good doing this. And about as of last week, I was kind of a little bit sporadic I was doing lifting and just push-pull legs, simple stuff. But I'm not doing heavy volume. So my workouts are typically like 30 minutes. And as of this last week, wrapping up last week and going into this week, I've now kind of solidified into my schedule, which is a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, push-pull legs in that order for now. But those 3 days are weights. And then Tuesday and Thursday are calisthenic, just push-ups, pull-ups, squats, full body stuff, but no weights. So I'm working on more of calisthenic stuff. And then Saturday is more of like a cardio core day. But before I was doing like just basically every day was lifting weights, always trying to lift heavier. I was doing core every single day. I was doing cardio on top of that every single day, getting up at 4, but not going to bed, getting 4 hours of sleep. It just, I don't think that was the best way to go. And, it just is what it is, I guess. So here we are now. I don't think that would have been something that I could have sustained anyway over this many years. So kind of throwing my back off, probably a good thing anyway, because it's allowed me to slow down and kind of figure things out. So this is what I'm doing now. And I want to start doing some videos because I'm at the point now where, like I said, I sold the house. And then the end of last year, Beachbody, the whole coaching thing, that dissolved. So as you know, if you've been on this channel for a while, it's what I've always done since 2000. When did I start that? 2008. And then I quit my job at Red Robin in 2010. And then I've had the residual income, even though really since about 2016, it really started coming down. And then the last few years, it was really just, it was enough to get some groceries and to kind of keep ahead of the bills, but it wasn't anything to write home about. It wasn't some crazy income, but it still allowed me to stay at home and be able to afford that stuff. But I kind of figured what would happen is I figured people like me that weren't really being all that active in it, they would have some sort of new requirements or something, and that would phase my business out or reduce my income even more. But what actually happened was we all got an email the end of last year. Just all of a sudden, they were like, "By the way, this is done. We're wrapping it up." Which I kind of saw it coming. If anybody looked at when Beachbody went public, it wasn't the greatest move. So they've been struggling, it appears. But anyway, so they got rid of coaching. Long story short, so I'm out of a job. And this year, I've been trying to figure out exactly. I'm like, what am I going to do to monetize? What am I going to do to earn an income? Because it's been quite a few months now. I haven't had any kind of income, so it's just trying to basically stay ahead, buy food, whatever. And I'm at the point. I'm like, I'm 41. I could just go get a job. Could go wait some tables or something. But also, it's been so long. I'd really like to create something from home again. And I'm trying to figure that out. What I'm going to do, how I'm going to monetize, I have no idea. I'm going for it. I'm just going to try different things. If I have to go get a part-time job, I will. It's just, I got the dogs. I have to take care of them. I can't leave them all day. I'm in kind of a special circumstance right now. And so I've kind of got some variables I have to juggle. So this was one of my ideas, is maybe I'll just start getting back into YouTube videos, and somehow, some way, maybe I can make this work if I'm consistent with it. So I've got kind of a little eBay store going. I've been listing a bunch of things that I have. So that's kind of cool. Haven't made any sales yet, but at least get out of my way. And I finally made the listings. I got a bunch more things I want to put up. Maybe I can start creating income from that. Thought about somehow leveraging, this is my thing. My trust with Beachbody is pretty hurt. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with it, but they do have their affiliate program, which I'm glad, because a couple of years ago, I was like, before they ended coaching, I had seen that. I kind of looked at it. I was like, man, just being basically an affiliate, having people use, they have great products, having people sign up with the body program back then, it's great commission. I was like, if you have X amount of customers, it was actually a competitive income compared to the old school days, and you build the coaching aspect, the MLM side of it, and have the team income. So I thought about doing that, and fortunately I didn't, because when they ended the thing last year, anything I had built then would have just been wiped out. So they did transition though into their affiliate program, and I've been looking at it. I don't know how long Beachbody will be around before they're maybe consumed by another company, how long the affiliate thing lasts, but I do need to create an income, so it might be something that I try to monetize. We'll see. Also, I bake a lot of sourdough, so I thought about doing maybe selling some sourdough, because Florida has some really good, what is it called, cottage house laws or whatever, or rules, or however it works, where you can do certain sales out of your home with baked goods. So I've been juggling that, a lot of different things. It might come down to just going to get a job. I literally had an application on my screen today. I was looking at just being a busser, just something to bring in income so I can stay ahead of my debts and put food on the table, basically do the basics until I figure something else out. Cry me a river, right? I think a lot of us are in financial situations right now, with the state of the world, but that's where I'm at. So welcome back to the channel. Hopefully I'll have some more good stuff coming forward. I think I'm going to end the video here. Those are the things I wanted to say. My screen even shut off, so I guess that's that. We'll see how this pans out. Until then, Jason here. I'll catch you guys next time.